Well, good day to the beautiful ladies of the Girl Scouts of North Central Alabama. I am Miss Chanel Fort, and I am the creator of Fortified Learning Solutions. I am also the Director of Academic Innovation at Stillman College. Stillman College is an HBCU located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I am just truly delighted to share with you ladies today. What an honor. I am just so proud of each of you and your journeys and just kind of your interest in progressing in your career, staying encouraged in your education, even during a time such as this. We all know that we've experienced some very interesting adjustments as it relates to the pandemic that we're all living through together. But I certainly encourage each of you to be strong and remain encouraged. Get your work done because it matters. Your education is so key. I really kind of wanted to begin by sharing my story with you. My story began 20 years ago. When I first, started, my education career, and that led to my professional career, here in Birmingham, Alabama. I attended University of Alabama at Birmingham, and I am a fan fave of the Blazers. And so I pursued a bachelor's degree of health sciences, and I later pursued a master's degree in healthcare administration with a focus in human services. Because I thought when I came to Birmingham that I really wanted to pursue a career in healthcare. Maybe I wanted to be a physician, maybe a healthcare administrator. I kind of went through all those different career ideas and took the classes and pursued the opportunities. But I later found that my career was really best spent and most enjoyable in the area of development, human development, as in training and education and learning and creating learning models. And I said that to say, I know that many of you have amazing dreams. You have so many just heart-filled desires, and I really want you to pursue those desires, but also know that over time that can certainly change. And when it does, it's okay. Change is good. A dear friend of mine told me, as a matter of fact, recently, a dear friend of mine told me, when you find your career pathway moving in a different direction than what you intended, it's okay to take that path. Just follow it and see where it goes. Because there's always something different on that side that you likely never had thought because you were so focused on what you had been focused on for so many years and never gave yourself the opportunity to stretch outside of that. So I strongly, again, encourage you to have those goals, set those goals, try to work toward attaining those goals. But when things change, it's okay. It's just a part of life. So getting back to the story, so again, pursued my education, and I launched, my career successfully. My first career, was a training and development opportunity, as a matter of fact, for a pharmacy, a large chain pharmacy, and it was quite enjoyable. I did a lot of traveling, meeting new people, recruiting new people into the, positions in the pharmacy. I learned a lot about my professionalism, management, leadership. It was exciting, a very exciting career, and I grew from that. From that, it catapulted me into obtaining other certifications in pharmacy services, as well as pursuing other opportunities in management and leadership, and no longer in the area of healthcare administration, but management and leadership in the space of learning and education. And so that led me to work with in higher ed, as well as the community college system. I've also worked in community education. I've worked in special education, and in higher ed, which we know as our 4-year schools, our 2-year schools. I've not only worked with private organizations, but I've also worked with, proprietary education schools. I became an evaluator with an accrediting organization. I've done a lot of great, so many, as you can hear what I'm saying, so many different avenues in that one core area of learning and engagement. And I said that to say, when you consider the career that you desire to take, Don't be afraid, again, while you're venturing that career, don't be afraid to even stretch within that career industry. Because there's many opportunities. And let me give it a little bit more clarity to you all. Assume that you want to go into banking. Maybe banking is the area of interest for you, and that's okay. That's a great career. Keep in mind that in banking, you can be a project manager. You can not only be an accountant, but you can be a senior vice president. You can be, a leader. You can be a frontline leader. You can be anything that you desire to be within that industry. But don't be afraid to try those new opportunities, because I did. And let me tell you, that within itself is what led me to entrepreneurship. Had it not been for me considering, broadening my horizon around my education experiences, and then moving into the career of learning and workforce development and workforce engagement, and within that industry, broadening my horizons and opportunities, had it not been for all of that, I would not have had the experience and the expertise that I needed to launch as an entrepreneur. I started my business. Again, it's called Fortified Learning Solutions, and I started that business in 2016. And since then, it's been a joy. It has been a joy. The beauty of it, what I tell people most that I enjoy about being an entrepreneur is you have the opportunity, you have the ability to actually choose the spaces and the places that you desire to work. The individuals that you want to connect with, the companies that you want to connect with. You decide that and allow team members to come on board to support your efforts and help to grow the vision that you have around your business concept. And again, I know that the strength of my ability in Fortified would not have come if it were not for me stretching. Stretching as in considering other opportunities in education and other avenues within the learning and workforce space. And again, I mentioned earlier, I'm also serving as the Director of Academic Innovation at Stillman College. Well, guess what? That opportunity came by way of my business. Because of my relationship with the college through Fortified Learning Solutions, I was able to secure a more sound, more solid opportunity with the college to assist them in a dynamic way. And it's a perfect pair. And here's what it also does. It gives leverage to expertise. It allows people to trust that you truly are the expert that you say you are. So I said that to actually say to you, if your vision is entrepreneurship, even in that space, it is okay to run your business, lead your business, bring on new contracts, new opportunities, but to also serve as a leader in a dynamic space, like at a college, for city government, for state government. There's so many opportunities is the point that I want to make to you all. And I don't want you to limit yourself. I remember a time that I did limit myself in my career. It was a very small window of time. And in that time, I actually had experienced a job layoff. And I kept saying to myself, if I had not limited myself for these few years, I would have had other reserves to be able to manage my time and finances as it related to transitioning through that. But those are the life experiences that many of us have faced. And many of us come through those life experiences, whether we count it all joy, which you should certainly count it all joy, or whether you allow it to just overcome you. What I will say to that is be mindful that even though the story is as it is, you hear progress, you hear growth, transition, there's always going to be a time of adversity. And adversity will even come as you're growing. As you're growing and developing in your education, in your career, in your business, if you desire to be an entrepreneur, adversity will come. But I strongly encourage you in that time to just, allow yourself to get through it. Don't be overcome with it, but allow yourself to get through it, because there's always going to be the end. There's the start, there's the mid, and there's the end. And the goal is that you get through that journey and season of adversity so that you can come out on the other end. Because guess what? That makes you stronger. It makes you stronger in the decisions that you make. It makes you stronger in the connections that you choose. It makes you stronger in the opportunities that you choose. And not only that, but it makes you stronger personally, spiritually, professionally. It's your development. So I definitely want you to hear that, not just for today, but I also want you to hear that for the future. So, again, in my story, you hear the smiles, the laughs, the great moments. You hear some of the somber moments, because that's just the reality of our world. A lot of times we move from opportunity to opportunity, as we can also say from faith to faith, or from progress to progress, or from grace to grace. And in doing so, I really encourage you to keep yourself in a routine. In order for you to best function, to best, take charge of your day, take charge of who you are, and allow yourself to really be grounded, is to begin your day with a sound routine, whatever that routine may be, to really rest in that routine and let that morning routine be what fills you. What you'll learn, ladies, as the older you get, the more wiser you grow, you find yourself outpouring continuously, and not just to one or two people, but to many people. And depending on the dynamics of your career, that outpour can be, almost in excess, but not too excessive, right? But in a way where, you can end your day and you just feel like, I'm just tired. And so it's important for you to allow yourself to come down in the evening, and then in the morning, begin your day with what fills you. And what will fill you is that routine. And in that routine, you should certainly have a holistic approach to that. Spend time in a quiet place, thinking, reading, believing, hoping, just kind of thinking about your day, thinking about your year, thinking about what's next for you, family. Allow that to center you. And then you begin, your day. As a matter of fact, it's interesting that I'm saying that in this moment to you because, the very area that I'm sitting in, is an area that I kind of come to every morning and just have that time. I have that quiet, somber, not somber sadness, but a slowness, and allow myself to come into the day. And that's what I encourage you to do, because that's where my strength lies. And that routine is going to be so vital to you, especially as you grow older in your career, and certainly more wiser in your career. You'll really understand what I'm saying. And I really hope that what you're hearing me say today is not just what you hear for the moment, but that you also hear this for the future. So I've shared so much about my career, ladies, but I really want to take you back to my childhood. Growing up, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go Saints and go Tigers. And growing up was just, it was so much fun. Let me tell you, I had, cousins my age, my siblings. I played until I could not play any longer. And I had always had the dream of, a matter of fact, I said I played until I could not play any longer, but I still consider myself getting outside in the yard as kind of like bringing the kid back to reality in me. But growing up, my career interests, I really wanted to be a lawyer. That was something that I just knew. Up until high school, that's when it actually changed for me. But my family knew that, yep, she's going to be a lawyer. She's going to be a lawyer. That was just it. And it was so interesting because even growing up, my friends and I, we used to play office. We used to pretend that we had an office running this major corporation, and my mom, she was so supportive. Oh my goodness. Because she would, bring all of these office supplies from work, from her job, and she'd, bring them to me because she knew it's like I was collecting all these office essentials. And, I had this little space, this little nook in my bedroom that I created as like my office desk and my phone, my sticky notes. I had a file cabinet, you name it. And so it's so interesting because all that time I said, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be a lawyer, even though I was sitting in the room playing Office. And now, look at it. Look at the result of that. Here is where we are today. I'm a business leader, and no longer, actually playing Office, but doing it. Doing the business. Literally all that I played as a kid is what I am doing daily to make it happen. And so, it's just so interesting, how life's journey will be. But again, I know, I just want to keep you reminded that wherever that journey takes you, as long as it is healthy, it's of greatest intent. It serves others, it serves you, it is supportive to your circle of influence. As long as it's positive, in other words, be willing to take that journey, even if it's something different than what you had imagined or dreamed, because, it's a part of, really growing into truly who you are, because life does happen in seasons. If I could go back to, my younger self and look, Chanel 5 years old, in the face, and maybe every 2 years revisit Chanel up until she's 20, I would say to her, enjoy your younger years. Enjoy them to the fullest. There's stages of life. There's the infancy, and then, you move into the toddler, then you move into adolescence, then you move into, your teen years, and then your adult years. And then when you hit the adult years, there's no going back. So what I would say to Chanel, enjoy your younger years, be the child that you are. Love your mother, love your father, love your siblings, your grandparents. Enjoy where you are and who you are right now, today, because that will evolve. Life truly continues to happen. We always hear our older generations say, just keep living, because that's true. Just keep living. And as you continue, your years will grow, and your years will grow wiser, and you'll become more bolder and more confident. And you need that, every stage in life to be able to, kind of absorb who you are in that moment, live those moments, appreciate that time, so that way, those years of wisdom continue to build and build and build, until you arrive to your career journey that you maybe maybe did not imagine for yourself, or maybe you did imagine, but you're at that place that you desire to call there. And once you're there, you can rest in that place called there and begin to build around that. And when I say build around that, you begin to build family and friends and stronger connections around the place that you call there. And then that takes you into the next stages and phases of life, which is retirement and just, what's next for you beyond that.